Hello, this is my 3D graphic game engine that I made in 2020 and 21. So it has two versions, CPU version and GPU version. The one that I show you right now is the CPU. It has 2D text, 2D graphic, some 3D model, just 3D model here, and animation. So it has the skeleton, it have some skinning with the texture, teddy bear here, but no light. This one have the light, skinning have the light, yeah, but the texture can also have light too. I will show it in the next version. So this is yeah, and going over some code a little bit. So the main part of the engine, the game.cpp, is have the load content section with load every manager. The game object manager is the important one. It it also have the update loop around here, update loop, and also have the draw loop, which is should be around here. Yeah, the draw loop just call game object manager and draw everything. It's gonna draw everything on the screen. So it use hierarchy and the destroy every manager so that there is no memory leak. So the engine game engine, the important part of the game engine is the animation, and we have the animation here. The animation called the animated bone of the clip, and let me explain the clip. The clip have the bucket of keyframe, and each keyframe also have the position of the bone, and it's gonna have a lot of bone, so the position of the bone. So when we do the animation, we have to do the slurp and love here. So to animate from keyframe A to keyframe B. So why we use slurp and love? For the love, we use for the scaling and transitioning. But for slurp, we use for the rotation, because the rotation we use the quaternion, not metric. And this is a diagram. Just want to show the diagram a little bit. And for the CPU version, use 90% of CPU and 10%, about 10% GPU, which is for the rendering and some shader light, yeah, something like that, skinning. So this is the vertex shader, and this is the fragment shader that use GPU or OpenGL. Here, the game object manager that call update is gonna update everything, and it's called draw. So it's the main part here. Now I want to show the GPU version. As see here, the GPU version is the next sprint of the CPU version. So I I add some compress, cut some keyframe, and also add some transitioning to transition between the clip, between each animation. See, from walking to run and jump. And also the big part of this is the move everything to the GPU, so make the engine a lot faster here. So the animation is used to have here the blender that calculate in the CPU. Now it buy everything in the GPU and call the dispatch to calculate it in parallel in the GPU. Here is the compute shader that you to calculate it. So it do the love and slurp here, metric and quaternion. So and also it's not compute the world shader in the game object anymore. Now it's compute the world shader in the compute shader GPU. So here, and for the engine, I want to show the library. This is the file library that I made from scratch for the engine, math library, and PCS3 and time. So the math library, I want to show some example of them. The quaternion. This is the quaternion that I made from scratch using linear algebra. So in it can do computation like multiple with the matrix and do invert, do get normalize the quaternion and some dot, some invert, yeah, something like that. So and also the slurp function that I showed you. And yeah, so 95% now is on the GPU and about 5% is in the CPU. And this is the PCS3 that we use for the bone hierarchy, yeah, and some when we call the game object update. So and before we go, I just want to show how I developed this project. So as you can see here, there is a lot of sprint. This is the original file. Yeah, the original file I take from the textbook OpenGL Super Bible version 7 is in the spinning cube. It's just only 200 and about 50 line of code. So it's here, just spinning cube. And in the file, I also take the library from the textbook Super Bible 7 and it is a library from the OpenGL. So my first sprint is here to make it object oriented. So this is my first sprint. I add file library and math library here. And also it add the game object to make it object oriented and add the main part, the game.cpp. So now my engine can do the scaling, rotationing, and transition. So here compute the world metric and yeah, display on the camera. So the next one is the sprint tool. I add some here. I add some model, just simple model, generic model that the engine can make. Some sphere, some diamond, pyramid, and cube. And also add the shader. You can see there is a shadow here. So and also the texture. Now the engine can import the texture. This is the brick and the stone. And the also I add the library PCS3, which gonna use a lot in the animation, the bone animation. So it's make the hierarchy of the game object. After that, I jump to the Sprint 2.4, which now my engine can import the 3D model .fbx file. So here the 3D model, and more than that, it also can do the calling here, the one that outside of the camera is the near plane and the far plane. So the one outside of the camera, we don't have to render it. So save some computation. And also when there are collisions, for example, the spaceship hit with the truck, so it can detect the collisions here. This is the big part, import the f.fbx file. And after that, the version the last version import the 3D model. Now is the 3D animation model. So and it can import the animation and also play with the animation, change some clip of the animation, reverse, speed up, speed down, everything. So then it's come down to the my last two sprint, so the CPU and GPU. So this one with the CPU, it make engine very fast and I optimize it. So I think that's it. This is my 3D graphic game engine. Thank you very much.